Before we get started tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on another episode of Fast Break, I want to talk about the last 8 years for IE Sports Radio. For the last 8 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports leagues around the country. All the while, we have been continuing to be by the fans, for the fans, and with your help, we are ready to take the next step. When you go to our website, iSportsRadio.com, you will see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. The first one starting at just $5 a month. This donation gets you shout-outs on all 32 of our shows. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on our segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you all for very, very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all sports. I do want to shout out our 4 Patreon members: Marcus Los Great, Bay Area Rays, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. Thank you for everyone making our 8th anniversary special. Here's many more years to come. Now on to the show. Good evening, everybody. We're back tonight. Lots to talk about with like a good 7 games into the NBA season. We'll discuss the Lakers and Nets tonight. Which team will make it to 500 first? The Lakers or the Nets? Or do one or these 2 teams got to make changes to try to get some positivity going on? Plus, Kyrie Irving in the news. Which, you can debate, is it good, is it bad, are people making a big deal of it, are people real too sensitive about it? We'll discuss that. Plus, are the Utah Jazz the surprise team in the NBA so far? They're 5-2. We thought they were going to be tanking, but they're playing very excellent ball. We'll discuss that and much more here on Fast Break, live on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for that as always sports, and you're welcome to join us. Join us as you shout tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Lots to talk about, lots to get into here tonight. Lots of good basketball has been played so far up in this season. Lots of some surprises as well. D-Log, how you doing tonight, sir?
Actually looking over the Spurs and Timberwolves game, which looks very interesting. Also on my Magic, who just came off their first victory against Charlotte, an actual blowout. They're playing pretty good tonight against the Mavericks as well. Hopefully they can keep that up and keep, Luke under wraps. So another interesting night of basketball.
Yeah, very interesting night of basketball indeed. You're looking at the scoreboard right now. You got the Celtics up 104-82 over the Wizards right now. Knicks, Cavaliers tied up at 99 going in the fourth quarter in Cleveland. The Pistons up 10 on the Warriors, 105-95 on that one. Like you alluded to, Spurs, Timberwolves 50-44. San Antonio up right now in the second. And your Magic 34-28 against the Mavericks right now in close to the end of the first. And with the Pelicans blowing out the Clippers today, 112-91 in L.A. Let's start off with the Clippers real quick, D-Lock. Kawhi Leonard didn't play again because of injury management. The Clippers are 2-4. What do you make of this squad right now? Do you think Kawhi is fully back healthy, or they being really cautious? What you think about them handling this situation with Mr. Leonard so far?
Well, the thing about Kawhi is we've seen him do this way back in his San Antonio days, and this is prior to any major or any significant super bad injury. So what we're seeing right now in Kawhi is just a maximum after he has gotten injured last year. So, he would take, a day off, not doing back-to-back. Clearly that wasn't a thing that he would really do. But now, with the injury from last year, him recovering, I wouldn't expect for Kawhi to play throughout the season. Play a full 82 or north of 70 games. It seems like Kawhi is not necessarily a player that is a stat sheet stuffer, as we see with a lot of players. As far as stats, I don't see him having that longevity as far as breaking a lot of records or anything like that. I just think that we may see him in the record books for a few things, but it's clear that he is trying to collect a lot of titles. And I think that he also has gotten that from starting his career in San Antonio. But I think that he is somewhat healthy. I kind of think there could be more to it, but I really don't think so because of what he's done in the past. But also with this team that we're talking about, the Clippers. I mean, look at Paul George, Reggie Jackson, John Wall, Norman Powell. They got a lot of guys on this team that can, Terrence Mann. They got guys that can put up points if they need to. Now, the thing that hurts with Kawhi missing time is the chemistry that they build. The chemistry is going to be huge. So without having that chemistry building, working with your team, I think that we'll see a difference later on. Now, they'll start to click later on as the season goes. But I think that's the biggest thing that we're missing when he is not playing. But this is what you should expect from a Kawhi Leonard. To see him play a lot is not going to happen. So for those of you that may have drafted him on your fantasy team, I wouldn't expect too much from him, especially when it comes to playing a lot of minutes or a lot of time. That definitely isn't going to happen. That, like I said, that culture for him started way back in San Antonio, and it's has rolled over from San Antonio to Toronto and now L.A. And I think it's going to continue. But I like I said, I like this team. I want to see what happens with them down the road. Now, I want to see what happens with. I think they need another big on that team. In my eyes, I think Zubac is a hell of a player, but I think they need somebody more in rotation. Batum is there, but I don't think he's a straight big man. Morris is there, one of the Morris twins, but I don't see him as a straight, big man to replace Zubac to give him that rest. So again, like I said, this team is so loaded. You can see that them not having Kawhi is probably not making a big impact right at this moment.
I think real quick for the Clippers, for me, it's just like, dog, you've been gone for a year and a half. That's that back-to-back early season, like after their second game of the season, after they played the Lakers, they played the Kings. Him and John Wall were out. That's it. I'm like, John Wall been out for 2 years. Kawhi, a year and a half. I'm like, what's this? And I think to myself, either he's not fully healthy, or they trying to just coast by till the playoffs come around. But it's just like you alluded to, yeah, they deep, but it's just like they losing though, and you don't want to get behind right now in the West. The Pelicans are 4-2. Zion came back today at 21, 12, and 7. Those are teams you gotta kind of watch out for who did make the playoffs last year, turn around and try and making a run. So Kawhi, some of these games, he got to kind of suck it up and get out and play. Like, look at the standings now. The Trailblazers 5-1. Very surprising. Phoenix 4-1. Utah 5-2. And then you got the Pelicans 4-2, tied with San Antonio and Minnesota and Denver and Memphis. They're all tied. But you can't, think you're gonna get close by and have things happen. Golden State's 3-3, and they losing right now to Detroit. But we don't expect them to kind of struggle like this for long. So, and Dallas is 2-3. So, I mean, for the Clippers, yeah, things can shape back up, but still, I mean, if Leonard ain't playing, then this team may be kind of like when they were last year, 7-8 seed playing for a play-in, and it should not be this way with how this squad is built. In my eyes. But I'll have you have the last word.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like I said, they were built to have a chemistry with Paul George and Kawhi. Like, let's not forget, we seen their press conference with both of them coming up, and we were expecting this team to be one of the ones to watch out for. Now, it could be more onto it. I just know that historically, what we see from Kawhi Leonard, like, this is him. Like, this is the way that he's moving. And I think that hopefully, I'm pretty sure that the Clippers knew, that this is what they expect from him. Like, this is how he's going to operate. Now, they start getting into these losing streaks, like the Lakers or like all these other teams, now, like you said, it's going to be more of, okay, what the hell is going on? Now you're in a situation where, you need to start winning some games, and he's not available. So it's not just an injury where we're, prepping for the playoffs or whatever, because as we know, the West is very tough. We were just talking about right before this, and I was telling you, as far as the Lakers, like, it's going to be kind of tough for them to get them damn playoffs. Just they working like this and playing in the West side. So, again, Kawhi they need to figure out they're playing with that. Some of these games that they are losing, they were not expected to lose. But the West is so tough that, taking off days, he may hurt more than help at this point.
So we'll keep up an eye on not the Lakers, but Clippers, but let's transition to the Lakers real quick. And I want to shout out to Terry Rodriguez, shout out to Marcus Los, great. The fellas in the comments, they're already rattling off about the Lakers. Terry Rodriguez, he's saying the Lakers' best chance to get their first win might not happen until they play the Clippers on November the 9th or the 11th. Ooh. And Marcus saying, it's time for the Lakers to move on from Davis. It's time for a rebuild. Where are the shooters? Move those draft picks. There's been a common theme about the Lakers after their first 5 games. They need shooters. Should they consider trading LeBron, Anthony Davis? Are they going to move those first round picks in 2027, 2029? What can they get for Westbrook? Is Rob Pelinka the right guy to build a roster? All that stuff. So, D-Lock, looking at the schedule ahead for the Lakers. They got the Nuggets tonight at home. We'll start there. Do you see the Lakers potentially winning tonight against Denver?
I'm gonna be honest and say no.
Yeah.
I don't, and I want them to. Being a huge fan of LeBron, but it's just like this team, they're just not clicking. They're just not good, man. Like they're not making any shots. They're the only person that's really doing a lot for them is LeBron. Anthony Davis is having a pretty decent season so far, but injury-wise, he's been, Anthony Davis. They say he's going to go tonight, but we see how long that actually lasts and what energy that he brings. So for me, hopefully that they can put up a fight, which I think they will. But and then on top of that, man, I believe Michael Porter is coming back.
I believe so, yes.
So Jokic, they got Michael Porter coming back. Aaron Gordon's playing outstanding. They got all these rotational guys over there in Denver. I don't see it. Now, granted, the reason why we do watch and love sports is because we love to see surprises, upsets, and different things. Never guaranteed. But I don't see it, man. I mean, I think right now this team is hurting for a victory, but it's not going to happen tonight, in my mind. I mean, I think they have a lot that they have to fix.
If they to win against Denver, I don't see it. They were playing good with Denver the first time they met them, but it's just like we talked before the game, like before the show. It's just that third quarter has been a killer for the Lakers. A real killer for the Lakers. And I don't know if they can fix it, man. I see the guys in chat saying trade the picks, do whatever you gotta do, all that stuff. But it's this, man. This ain't a quick fix. It's really not. And for folks saying get Buddy Hield, get Miles Turner. Folks in the media have been saying that. It's like Miles Turner already been hurt this year. Buddy Hield, I mean, he's playing okay so far, but I mean, that's really not enough right now. Buddy Hield, getting Buddy Hield is nice, but it's not enough. Unless the Lakers can, get one of those nice young wings from the Pacers, which ain't gonna happen, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know what's gonna happen with the Lakers. I don't foresee them win tonight. If I look ahead, their schedule right now, excuse me. Looking towards the next game against the Pelicans. Could they win that one? Possibility. Herb Jones has been out for the past couple games, so you don't have to worry about that defensive ace. But Zion's back in the lineup, and I know Zion's not gonna miss this matchup against the Lakers. And after that, you got the surprising Utah Jazz is like 5-2, and we'll see how they go about their season, D-Law, because we thought they're going to tank. We thought they're going to be in the same boat like the OKC Thunder, San Antonio Spurs. Who else? I think I missed some. Detroit Pistons. I thought they all going to be in the same boat of tanking and trying to get a high draft pick. But so far, Utah looking like one of the better teams in the NBA. Jordan Clarkson playing very well. This is like a well-rounded team. Laurie Markkinen playing very well and shooting the ball very great right now. 84% for the free throw line, 48% from the field. You know, him averaging nine rebounds. In which one of the things, you know, you can criticize him is like his rebounding, but he's doing a great job getting on the boards this year. Mike Conley averaging 7.3 assists, you know, off 30 minutes, 30 and a half minutes a game. You know, Cleveland, the one after that, Utah, the Jazz again, the Clippers, like Mr. Rodriguez alluded to, the Kings on November 11th. And then, another team we'll get to talk about, the Brooklyn Nets on November the 13th. That's a whole bunch of L's potentially lining up for the Lakers, D-Lock. And the thing that sucks about this, if you're a Laker fan, you don't got that first round pick for next year. So for like, if you're trying to target at a Scoot Henderson or the French kid, then, you know, this ain't the year. And that pick flips to New Orleans. So,
Right.
if you're the Lakers, you gotta shape up and do something, because you don't want like be so bad that if you give another young talent to the Pelicans and then, you know, next you know, they probably dominate the league here the next 10 years or so with if Williamson can stay healthy. With Williamson, whoever they draft, you know, Ingram and all that, you know, and that crew, Herb Jones. You don't want like hand somebody that. So I don't know what's gonna happen with them. I don't know if they're gonna move Westbrook along with those picks. I don't know what the best deal out there. Westbrook's gonna probably come off the bench again tonight. We'll see how that works again. I mean, he played pretty decently, you know, last game, but you know, we'll see how he goes about for Denver tonight. But you know, those slated games I just ran off right there. We'll see how they look after the Nets game. After that point, you know, we'll see if they make a move by then or not. But you know, before I let you have the floor, and you sent me this message a little bit before we got on the air. You know, Bojan Bogdanovic got a contract extension by the Pistons for 2 years, $39 million. And I thought,
Yep.
you know, he'd be one of those guys, depending on how Detroit's season will play out throughout the year, we ever get traded by midpoint trade deadline, or he'll get bought out and go to a contender. But now he's kind of locked in. He ain't going nowhere right now.
Nope.
So if you're the Lakers, that's one option that kind of went away. Who else you going to look around at? You know? Eric Gordon? Jay Crowder? Gordon Hayward? Kelly Oubre? Terry Rozier?
Yeah.
Hill? Miles Turner? So I just, those are the names have been popping up. And I don't think those those names that come in, they ain't gonna turn things around.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, they're gonna have to at this point. If you're gonna make some moves or try to do something, uh, they're gonna have to do that quick. But all these other names, like you said, first of all, Bogdanovich, he started out that first game against the Magic with the Pistons and been playing good ever since for the Pistons. In fact, look like they're going to get this win against the Golden State Warriors. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 21 points. So another good game. That's after getting paid. So for me, I think that he started out hot. What you said, he could have been, a potential player for them to go grab. But they're going to have to get some pieces somewhere if they want to. If they, like you said, at this point they have to make a move for someone. But this could be a situation where this year is going to have to go by the way that it is. I mean, like I said, I thought that. Like I said, I felt like early in the season, the whole Russ situation, thought it could have had different adjustments to it, but clearly, that's not what it is. And he's not the only problem. Like, they're just not shooting good, man.
No.
Like, I think, LeBron has had some pretty decent games, but I believe against the last time they played against the Nuggets, he had 8 turnovers. So, they're just not playing exceptionally well right now. So even if they were to bring in some new guys or some other guys, they need to play better. So that's just something that has to be done. But for this year to go the way it is for them is kind of sad, or looks kind of not good, just because you have an Anthony Davis, a Russ, and a LeBron. You made some pieces to go get a Beverly for a deep tie to defense. Went and got you a slasher and Lonnie Walker. Thomas Bryant hasn't yet to see the court. So for me, like I said, I'm hoping, like I said, they do make a move. Hopefully, but it just, who knows what it do for them right now. They just don't look like they can make huge improvements right now, man. They're just not playing well. I mean, to start out, like, not winning one game is kind of very much bothersome. So they have the Nuggets tonight, and then let me double check. They already on 5, and we already know that West is going to be very hard to get into, as we talked about with the Clippers. So both LA teams is acting super confused right now. So they got Denver, then they got New Orleans, which is going to be a tough battle. Utah, one of the surprising teams. After them, they got Cleveland, with the changes that they made, and then they have Utah as well. So they got some games that they got some tough games coming up.
So we'll tweet about the Lakers tonight. They play the Nuggets here not too long from now, and we'll see how things shake out. I do, like you pointed out about the Nugget game, Russ didn't play that game. Like, Russ did not play in that game. And the issues were still glaring. Like, I was sitting there watching the game. Kendrick Nunn, he has to be on to get a nice streak going. He ain't that type of shooter. And the thing is, and I can see why the people saying they need shooters. This is like, these guys be getting open shots, but some of these guys should not be shooting. Beverly should not be shooting that much as he has. Kendrick Nunn, same as well. And then like guys like Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves, to Toscano Anderson. Got it. If you're open, you gotta make your shots because like Marcus alluded to in the chat, you know, everybody should be up for grabs. Just damn near, in my eyes. And speaking, everybody should be up for grabs, damn near. The Brooklyn Nets. They're 1-5 D-Lock. This is a team in, I don't want to say turmoil, but it's not good. Just last night, after the game they lost to the Indiana Pacers, a team that is on a tank bus, but, I do want to shout out this young man here who played an excellent game last night for the Pacers. And a guy you mentioned that you liked a lot as well for the Pacers. I'm trying to find it.
Benedict Mathurin.
Yep, Benedict Mathurin. Had 32 points off the bench last night. 6 for 9 for 3-point land. I think we're safe to assume that the Pacers got a steal on that one.
Very much.
Ben Simmons had 9 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 fouls, 3 for 7 from the field. Kyrie Irving had 35 points. Kevin Durant had 26. Our other two people in double figures were Joe Harris and Royce O'Neal. No TJ Warren yet. He's still recovering for his foot injury. We talked about the Nets we had talked about the Nets for a good bit on this show. You had brought this up when Steve Nash got hired and Kyrie and Kevin made their comments. You said the way they talk about Steve Nash, things ain't gonna go last long with him as head coach. We're 1-5 right now, D-Lock. How long does Steve Nash got with the Nets?
Ooh. Well, 1-5 right now. Let me do one thing with this team because right now they're just playing at a level just like the Lakers. You have a top 5 player in Kevin Durant. You tell me what you think. I probably would say top 15 player in Kyrie Irving. For sure, top 20. So right now, they are 1-5. They have the Pacers again tomorrow. They got Chicago, got Washington, Charlotte, and Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Those are their next 5 games. Come back that November 9th, Knicks, which is going to be a big game. I think ESPN is going to be having that one. I see them probably winning maybe 2 of those games. Charlotte being 1 because Charlotte just looks terrible right now, especially without LaMelo. You know what? I give him to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Because of the whole off-season situation, because of the players they got, some of the guys that are supposed to be available that are not, like a TJ Warren, Joe Harris just not coming back. I think that this team will be ready to go. They'll start to click later on. For me, I think that Steve Nash to start out at a 1-5, and I was just telling you right before. Anybody looking at the over/under, for these games and the spread, the Pacers were 10.5 I'm sorry, the Knicks were 10.5 favorites against them, and they lost by 10. Like, how did that even happen? Um, Going to get Ben Simmons, you would think that they would bring defensive presence. Point guard is going to eat on them as much as they have been. John Morant cooked them. Tyrese Halliburton had a hell of a game against them. As I talked about Benedict Mather, and he was a steal not only for the Pacers but also for me yesterday because I had him in my FanDuel account 2%. Thank you, Mr. Mather. So they're still doing whatever they want. Now I want to get this point across as well. Let's understand that Ben Simmons is not a shooter. So we cannot expect for him. I mean, if you look at his stat line, he's not averaging that many shots, not averaging that many points. But he's more so of a defender. He's an assist guy. He's a board guy. That is what Ben Simmons does. So that's going to be his role. That's just what he is. These other guys, I need to see more from a Patty Mills. I'm going to mention a name that we haven't heard since he got drafted, but Cam Thomas. You remember him?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen much from him. So with this team, now they have a lot of off the issues, off the court issues, and we'll touch into with Kyrie going on as well. It makes it very tough to see where this team goes. So for me, like I said, I give him till Thanksgiving. I think that they'll slowly start to get things clicking, but this is a bad start, man. I mean, it's now the difference between them and the Lakers is they're in the East, right? I believe it's not gonna hurt them as much for them starting like this to how it's gonna be to the Lakers to within a pretty tough conference. But also the East is getting pretty tough as well. We see what the Cavs are looking like. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I think, hell, right now, if they didn't have a couple good plays against the Raptors, hell, they might be 0-6 right now as well. So, for me, this team needs to get it together. Maybe we see more out of Cam Thomas. Seth Curry is going to come back. Bringing in a Russell Neal, we thought that was going to bring a defensive presence. But I think what really hurt them is losing Bruce Brown. Yes, you went and got a Ben Simmons, which is a key piece. You got Russell Neal, but for Bruce Brown to bring that physicality, that was huge, and we see him making that big presence in Denver. So I actually seen him have a lineup yesterday without Claxton. And I think now that they have a Ben Simmons, they're playing that role where they're playing a smaller five than they did last year. So, no Andre Drummond there. Hell, they don't have another true big under them. Darren Sharp probably can get some minutes. I haven't seen him on the court as much either. So, this team has to get it together, man. I mean, even when you throw in a Tier 1, like, how is he going to play a huge, difference? But for me, like I said, I give Steve Nash until I'd give him to Thanksgiving. I think around that time, if they don't have things turned around, I think this team may turn somewhere else. Because, dude, 1-5 with these two guys, and then you brought in the Ben Simmons who's supposed to have a defensive presence. I don't really see that much of a difference.
Shout out to Larry B joining into the chat. How you doing tonight, sir? I thought at least 1 year being away from basketball and stuff like that, I thought it would maybe do Ben Simmons a lot of good, but it really hasn't. And I don't know if you ever heard the phrase used in basketball before or anything like that, but the phrase like, you big for no reason.
Yep.
Ben Simmons is big for no reason. And all the talent in the world, you know, can't make you have that want to. I don't know if y'all in the chat remember a player named Perry Jones. Used to play his college ball in Baylor. Was about like the same height as Ben Simmons. Can handle the ball, and not scared and he's not scared to shoot. But he kind of didn't have that want to, and he slid in that draft when he came out to the late 20s, picked up by OKC, but it just never worked out for him. And that's where Ben Simmons is at. I think the fortunate thing for Simmons is like he was a high pick, pieced together a couple of good seasons and got a big contract out of it. Now we kind of like fast forward. Now it's like he's a player not worth that type of contract. I don't care about how many all-star teams he made or how many defensive teams he's made. He's not that type of guy worth that type of contract. And I thought maybe Brooklyn would be a different situation for him, but it really hasn't. It really hasn't panned out. And I know he's going to defer to Kyrie and Kevin in the scoring. But if you got Kyrie screaming at you at the damn rim to shoot the damn ball, and you're not taking that shot, like, come on, man. And it seems like I don't know if you agree with this or not, but it seems like his teammates know the talent is there for him to be better than when he showcases, but some reason or another he doesn't want to take over like that. Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, I think that I think there's a lot to him, but again, like for me, I don't see him as a shooter.
No.
Like, I see him as a defender, but I see him as a slasher. Like that's what I see Ben Simmons as. Like I see him as getting to the rim. He's gonna dunk or get the layup and one. Like that's the play that I see from him. Now, let's talk about any great that were a younger player. And well, when they were young, let's say LeBron James, right? LeBron James was a stud coming out. He was, one of the greatest we've seen come out of high school. He went to a team where it was his team. Like he already had the mentality that he was gonna, be aggressive and do this, that, and the third. I think that, like you said, that's one thing that Ben Simmons is possibly missing is that mentality. Now, I didn't really see him have too much of that at LSU.
Nah.
Hell, I didn't even see him have that too much in high school. So for me, I think for one, he came into the NBA with that, not as we call that aggressive mentality or trying to take over mentality. But what happens is it got damaged by what happened in Philly. That didn't help. That made it worse. So for me, again, I'm with you. I think that he has that mentality. He can be that guy, but is he going to try to take over and have that, that dog mentality? We talk about that with with a Michael Jordan. We hear a lot of people say that LeBron doesn't have that mentality. Well, we actually seen LeBron have that mentality multiple times. Hell, for those that don't remember, let's go back to Game 6 against the Celtics. Look at that picture against when he was with the Heat. He went over. He literally took over. Go to, I believe it was, I'm not sure for sure, was it Game 7 against the Spurs or Game 6 when Ray Allen made that shot at the 3-point line after the rebound from Chris Bosh?
Yep.
that was another time where if you literally watched the game, his mentality went to I'm on go mode. Therefore, meaning by any means, legally necessary. He was doing everything he needed to will his team to a win, and we don't see it out of Ben Simmons. It's not over the takeover mentality. Um, so again, hopefully, it does come around at some point, but we've seen this guy for some time, and this is who he's gonna be. So you have to, say, hey, okay, this is what we is. This is who he is. So let's build around this. So for me, I agree with you. I think he has that mentality where he could be one of the best players in the league. Um, and we get lost into being in the day and age of league that we are now. We see Steph Curry jacking up 30-footers, Jordan Poole, Dame guys jacking up 30-footers and shooting from anywhere. We think that's the only way that you could be dominant in the league. Hell, we just seen Carter Towns in the three-point shootout contest. So right now in this type of league, we're thinking, well, damn, you got to be able to shoot to be the dominant player, and that's incorrect. I feel like that is not necessarily the case. I feel like the how Ben Simmons plays, he could be as dominant and as effective his way of playing as a shooter would. But he has to buy in and have that mentality, and I don't see it.
Yeah, it's just it's frustrating to watch, and I think it's frustrating for those guys right now. Like damn, dude, give us a bone or something right quick. Give us a bone and stuff. And he's not helping things, and then the role play, and then the coach is not helping things as well. In that situation, then we'll talk about this before we head out. The post game conference from last night. Kyrie has, if for some of y'all don't know, Kyrie has tweeted out. How can I phrase it? Like a book on Amazon, book or a movie through Amazon. All right. It was about. Let's see. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm trying to find it. Seems like he is taking it down, from what I can tell. But
yeah, he's now on a different move. How he's going with it.
But gist of it is about, how the Hebrews are the true, black people are the true Hebrews. Talking about the Jews and the slave trade, all that stuff. And like Marcus just brought up to the chat. I don't agree with Kyrie's view, but he's allowed to have them without getting canceled. And as we've seen the past week here, D-Lock, with Mr. Kanye, I think we talking about, I don't know, I think we're kind of talking about people are kind of lumped these two guys in the same boat, which I don't think is the right move in my eyes. Kanye is going to say he's going to be on to say this about the top elite Jewish people going DEFCON 3. That's a different animal than what Kyrie has been talking about or tweet about. What are your thoughts? Because I didn't know he did anything until I saw the tweet. People retweeting the owner of the Nets, Joe Tassi, whatever you pronounce his name. What do you think is going to happen with him? Is there going to be a point that they may get rid of him or they keep him around? What do you think is going to happen with Kyrie in your eyes with the Nets? With the way things are going right now, what do you think is going to happen?
at this point, we know what Kyrie is as well. Like this ain't no shocking news. Kyrie gonna say some stuff that people gonna disagree with. I mean, he's gonna do some things that people are not gonna agree with. I mean, let's look at the COVID situation.
Yeah.
So this is not anything that should be shocking to these owners or anybody in the front office. We go from the COVID situation to last year, where clearly, Kyrie is already letting them know where he wants to go at. So right now, a lot of times when I hear front office or other people try to say things about other players' response to personal lives, it's kind of like, they have these games, they have these press conferences, and the people, these news reporters, they don't worry so much about the game as much. They ask questions about the game, but now they have off the court, off the field things that they want to ask questions about, and they need something to write about. And when that's the case, they're asking different people. The owner tweets what he tweets, so now he has to come. It's like when Kyrie does that, the owner has to pick a side, right? Now you got to decide what side you're on, because you're going to get asked these questions. How do you feel about this a lot? So, again, I think the owner does feel some type of way, but to think that something's going to happen to Kyrie after what he's already done, I don't think so. He's already known as that outspoken person. I'll send it to you, but I remember looking at his interview with one of the guys asking the questions about what he tweeted and, about the situation. And Kyrie was just debating with the guy back and forth. And he said, well, you're trying to promote this. And he said, well, you're trying to assume that I promote it, X, Y, and Z. So when you have celebrities, sports athletes or people that have that kind of status, you can put up 2 fingers, right? And people would think, okay, what the hell does that mean? Why are you putting 2 fingers? Are you saying 2? Are you saying deuces? Are you giving Tyreek Hill sign? Like, there's so many ways, that people are going to turn it. Are you promoting something? So these questions are going to be asked. So, but we know what Kyrie is. He's going to feel the type of way different things. He's very outspoken. And the owner knows this. So to come out and feel some type of way, which totally understandable, I just don't think that he moves off of Kyrie. I don't think he trade him. I don't think he release him. I think this is something that they'll talk about, and it's like Kyrie is going to be like, man, look at what I've done in the past. So what's different now? And that's how he's going to approach it, and that's how he has approached it. That's the reason why he tweeted and said the things that he said. So for me, I don't think nothing really happens to Kyrie, man. Like, this stuff is just the norm at this point with somebody like a Kyrie, Antonio Brown. Like, there's always something. Kanye. Like, there's different things going on. So you need to know that this comes with these people in their lives, their personal matter, their personal issues. So, again, I don't think anything happens, man. I think it's talked about. They'll address it in like 2 or 3 months from now. We won't even be hearing about it, especially from the owner.
I'll make my thoughts real quick. I've been thinking about how I'm going to phrase this today. For the folks in the national media and folks like that, the blue check marks on Twitter, how you want to put it. This is what happens in sports when you want these guys to open up on this, that, and the other, or share their feelings and whatever in any type of way. This is what you get. And when something don't go right, or what you don't like, or whatever you think is in meaning one way or another, this is what you get. You got a whole bunch of people in their feelings. Like Marcus said, I don't think it should get him canceled. You know? It should not get him canceled. There's folks on Twitter and whatever that say some wild other things about other types of people, and they still get praised. They still have jobs. They still make money, hand over fist. You know? So, you folks in the national media, y'all want these athletes to be open and all that stuff. Okay? You gotta take the good with the bad. You want these guys to open up, have their opinions and views and stuff like that. This is what you get. You know? And to be fair to Kyrie, I'll say this deal before we head out. You know, I haven't seen the movie yet. I think it's fair for some of these folks to go see the movie to know where he's coming from. And I think that's one of the problems in our society today of age. We're too quick to go off on headlines to kind of, you know, to get the gauge of the whole perspective. You know? Like, we're too quick to do that. You know, and if you didn't see, you know, what he tweeted and, you know, stuff like that, or, you know, if you want to say promotion of the movie on Amazon, then you really can't say that. Not everything's, I know it's the popular thing right now, not everything's anti-Semitism. It's not. I don't think Kyrie is like that. I'll defend him now. I don't think he's anti-Semitic. I think that's the popular thing flowing around right now because of Mr. Kanye West. And like I just alluded to, a popular thing to do in our society. We kind of just, you know, go what's hot right now. So, you know, wrap this up. You know, do I see Kyrie sticking around for the team? Possibly. Could he be moved? Possibly. So I don't think he gets moved. The owner, depending on how this shakes out, could be looking to make a change or wait till his contract goes out in the season. So we'll see how things shake out. You know, it's a long season. So, you know. And I also say this before we get out of here, D-Lock. For these reporters and stuff like that. If you're going to get in your feelings, don't ask these type of questions. I mean, it's cool to answer those questions. But I think the guy that answered that question to Kyrie should have, after, you know, got his initial question and the follow-up question, should have just kind of put a cap on it right there. Unless it's like a one-on-one interview, put a cap on it. Because this is post-game after they lose to the Indianapolis Pacers. So, I'll just say that. And I know we got to get off the air right now. So, I'll just wrap it up right there. But thank y'all for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much. D-Lock, how can people find you on social media?
They can find me at Black-813, Twitter and Instagram. Let them know where they can find our page at.
You can follow us on Twitter at FastBreak@IESR. That's FastBreak@IESR. Also, do check out IESportsRadio.com for all the latest news and show times on the network. Mike Pat is right behind us, talking all DMV sports. You know, Ravens won this past Thursday. Commanders won today. So he'll be talking about that. Also, I do have a Twitter account, Spawn4288. That's Spawn4288. Also, I do another show on the side called The Crooks Process. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I post a lot of stuff on there on Instagram, so do check me out on there. We talk to y'all later next week. Peace.